Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the Heart Zone. I'm the host, McGarren Hart, and we're going to talk some sports. Before I get into today's subject, though, I do want to say thank you guys for all the support early on. Just getting started for you guys to be able to, let me know the videos are good. Let me know that I should keep going. That's inspirational for me to keep going. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you know when I'm posting my next video. So with that being said, let's hop into it. Here's today's agenda. I'm going to be going over some of the round 2 predictions, then going on to round 3 and finals, as well as talking about some of the NBA injury updates that's going on, as well as some trade rumors that's kind of getting cleared up a little bit. So we'll hop into that. Let's start off with the 2 games that are tonight. We're going to be starting off with the Celtics and the Bucks. The Bucks were able to steal game 1. They played great defense, held their Celtics big 2 to a lower shooting percentage. And then game 2, they played great. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown played great. The Bucks defense weren't able to match it. So the Celtics were able to come out victorious to tie the series at 1-1. Going forward, I have the Celtics winning this series. I think they're too talented. The Bucks are missing their closer. Chris Middleton is their closer. He is the 3-level scorer that can score the 3-pointer, the mid-range, and at the goal. So that's the guy Giannis likes to kick to when he gets double to or he, gets too many defenders on him. And Middleton is great at creating his own shot too. So them missing him, I feel like it's just too big of a loss for them versus talented Celtics team, which I has as the most talented right now. Marcus Smart, he demands the 1 defensive player of the year. You got your 2 two-way wings in Tatum and Brown. And then you got 2 bigs that can guard the paint very well and guard the perimeter well as well. I have the Celtics win this series about 6 to 7 games. So next I'm going to go on to the Grizzlies and the Warriors. This series has started off very controversial. Game 1 started off, Draymond got hit in the eye. He had to go to the locker room, flicked off Grizzlies fans. He ended up getting a flagrant 2 foul for pulling Brandon Clark down where he was ejected. Fast forward, Warriors end up winning that game. Go to game 2. Boom. Dillon Brooks ends up hitting Gary Payton across the face. Gary Payton is now out for the rest of the playoffs. So Dillon Brooks got a flagrant foul and he was ejected. And then Dillon Brooks also got a suspension because he caused the injury to Gary Payton, who was the Warriors' best John Morant stopper. But with that being said, I do like this Warriors team still over the Grizzlies, even without Gary Payton, because I think they're more talented. They have more leadership. I wouldn't even say they're more talented. I would just say they have more experience, right? They've been here before. They've been to a few finals. They know what they're doing. Steph is going to lead the way, obviously. Then you got Clay and Jordan Poole, who's coming to an emergent star this year. He's been playing great this playoffs. He's looking like a very valuable asset for this Warriors team for the future. Then the defensive player there in Draymond. So this team is, I think, just, they're really top heavy, but they're very good at the top where they can compete with teams. This Grizzlies team is young. They beat the Warriors last year. I think the Warriors are more hungry after that defeat. So they're going to come back looking for revenge against this Grizzlies team and look to move on to the next series. So I like this Grizzlies team being the team of the future, but I like the Warriors to win this game right now because they're just been there before. So I like the Warriors in this series versus the Grizzlies in about 6 to 7 games. It could go to 7, but I like the Warriors in 6 because they've been there before. So I got Warriors. Next, I'm going to go to the other 2 games on the other days. We have the Heat and the Sixers. We just saw game 3 where the Sixers stole a game. So now the series is 2-1 where the Heat are up. Joel Embiid is back. He let them know that he was back on social media and during this game. So we're going to see what the Heat can do to bounce back. I do like the Heat in this series. I think they're just too talented where they can play such great defense, and the Sixers won't be able to create enough offense unless Harden, get better shots on offense. But it's looking like that won't be happening, even though they did get a blowout yesterday. I like them being able to switch everything. Kyle Lowry's back for them now. He's going to get his legs back under him, and they're going to be the team to beat in this series. So I think the Sixers got their only win that they going to get this series. If the Sixers do manage to get another win in game 4, I do like it at 6, but I'm going to go with the Heat in 5 for now. So going on to the next series, the last series of round 2, we have the Suns versus the Mavericks. This series is also 2-1. The Mavericks were able to steal a great game last night where Luka Doncic played great again, and then Jalen Brunson came and gave some help. So this Mavericks team, every game that Luka can get another player to play great with him, obviously he controls the ball a lot, but once he gets his teammates going, they're very hard to beat. I do like Luka as the best player in the league right now. Y'all will see why in my debate. I kind of explained it a little bit, but I just don't think this Mavericks team has enough. In this day and age, you need another superstar next to you. You can't win it by yourself. I don't care who you are. So Luka will be falling to this Phoenix Suns team, and they will be moving on to the next series. I would say in about 6-5. 5 to 6 games. I think the Mavericks might have got their only win. The Suns are going to lock in and take over this series despite how talented Luka is. So jumping into round 3, now we have 4 teams remaining, 2 games remaining. Let's start off in the Western Conference. We have the Suns versus the Warriors. Who do I have in this matchup? Well, it's tough. They've been back and forth all year. At the beginning of the year, they was going back and forth between the 1 seed. Now they decide the Suns will end up taking off in the end to get the 1 seed, where the Warriors were a little unhealthy. But now we expect to see a very healthy matchup between these two, where it's going to be a lot of back and forth. In the end, I do have to side with the Suns. It hurts me. I would love to see the Warriors in another championship, but I like the Suns being more hungry in this series. They were just in the finals last year. They know what they need to do to get there. They kind of watched as the Bucks celebrated Deebo. So I think he wants to get back. And they have more size that the Warriors don't have. They actually have a big man who can score in the paint, where you can't just go small against them. So Aiden is, I feel like, the X factor for this series, because if you go through the wings and the guards, it's going to be very talented wings and guards from both sides, where they're able to play both ways. So this is going to be a great series. I think it goes to 7 games, where the Suns end up going to their 2nd straight NBA final. So out east now, we got 2 teams remaining. We have the Celtics and we have the Heat. So between these 2 teams, it's going to be a lot of defense. The Heat play great defense. The Celtics play great defense. But in the end, the Celtics have more offensive firepower. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, probably the best duo in the league, young duo in the league right now. They can score with anybody. And the Heat just don't have that go-to scorer yet. I talked about it in my trade rumor that they need to get that pure scorer. Jimmy is a guy who can score good, but he's not a pure scorer. You want a pure scorer there. They can play the great defense, but they can't match it with the offense that'll take them over the top. I think the Celtics just end up outscoring them a lot of these games, where they just end up winning this series in about 6 games. I like the Celtics because they're just so talented. So going into the finals now, we have 2 teams remaining. We have the Phoenix Suns and we have the Boston Celtics. So the Suns are now making their 2nd straight finals. The Celtics, they've been here a lot of times before, where they got to the conference finals and they end up losing to LeBron James, or they got very close and they just couldn't finish off the job. So now I have this Celtics team back in the finals. This time they're going against the Suns team that was there last year. And I just have this Celtics team, like I said, as being too talented. They have the Defensive Player of the Year, where they can match him up with Chris Paul. They have 2 great two-way wings in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, where they can match up with Bridges and Booker. And then they have the 2 great interior and paint defenders in Rob Williams and Al Horford, where they can kind of give DeAndre Ayton his own problems. And then, you got to guard Crowder too. So I just think this Celtics team is the most talented team in the league. They play to their talent now, so now they can take over the league, or they can win a few chips in the future. But for now, I do have them beating this Suns team in about 6 games. It's going to be a great series, I believe, but this Boston Celtics team is hungry. They want to ship. They've been close, but now they're going to get them one this year. They're going to be champions in 6 games. So those are my predictions for round 2, 3, and the finals. Hopefully it stays on course now so it can keep going throughout, but we shall see. Let's go ahead and hop into the news. We're going to go ahead and stay with the NBA for now. Talk about Ben Simmons a little bit. They were expecting him back for Game 4 when they played against the Boston Celtics in round 1. The Brooklyn Nets played them. But he ended up having back soreness in the morning, where he told the team that he wasn't ready to play because he felt that back soreness come. So it pissed off his teammates, it pissed off his coaches, and obviously pissed off the fans, because they were anticipating this debut that he talked about, but he didn't end up coming back. So he ended up getting a back surgery within the last week, and it is expected for him to be back within 3 to 4 months. So that should set him in the timetable where he's ready for next season to hopefully make his debut next to Kyrie if he resigns, and Kevin Durant. We'll be looking forward to that in the future, but for now, Ben Simmons is out. He had the surgery, and he is expected back in the future. Next, we have Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, where after their series, apparently, according to reports, Rudy Gobert was saying that Donovan was a defensive liability, as well as Donovan is losing his explosiveness. Rudy Gobert felt like he was getting better every single year. Apparently, they sit right with him, where he was telling officials that it's either Donovan or me. One of us got to go, and it's not going to be me. But that's what the reports were saying. Rudy since has came out and said, don't believe all the rumors. They could be true. But in my opinion, after seeing this series where Donovan didn't play the best defense, I could kind of see Rudy saying these things, especially if he, they always talk about about breaking it up, and he doesn't want to be the one who ends up out. But at the end of the day, I do see the Jazz, if they had to choose between the two, choosing Donovan Mitchell just because he's a guard, he's younger, he's more explosive. But the thing is about that, I cannot see where Rudy Gobert will end up if he does end up getting traded. The two teams that I said that was the most likely before, the Mavericks and the Warriors, are both clowning him. Draymond Green has came out in the media and clowned Rudy Gobert multiple times, so how could you even play next to Draymond Green? And then you have the Mavericks, where Jason Kidd said it's not that easy to attack the Suns because he's not going against Rudy Gobert. So that was definitely a shot at Rudy. His two top teams that's going after him, as well as Luka talk about him bad too. So the two top teams that's going after him are really bashing him, so I can't really see them trading for him. I don't know where he can end up if the Jazz do end up moving him. So that's all for NBA news. Let's jump into a couple things in the NFL. I'm going to go over Ryan Tannehill real quick. Apparently, he had a press conference. The Titans just drafted Malik Willis, who was probably a first-round talented quarterback, in the 3rd round. That kind of didn't sit well with Ryan Tannehill. They asked him at the press conference if they felt like, he should be mentoring him. And he said that's not his job to mentor him. He should be doing everything that Tannehill's doing instead of, getting some of the lessons. Now, Ryan Tannehill, he's the average to good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, so he doesn't really have the right to be saying this, in my opinion. He's no Aaron Rodgers. He's no Patrick Mahomes. He's no Josh Allen. So he can't say, oh, I'm not going to mentor a rookie quarterback. That's kind of your job, to kind of help this quarterback go and progress. Like, I'm sure when you were a rookie in the league, that a vet helped you get better, especially in all the little things. So we'll see how that ends up coming. I don't like that Ryan Tannehill said that, but I'm sure he will try to clear that up in the future. But next for NFL, to end it off, I do have more news about Deebo. We've been talking about Deebo a lot. Now Deebo is looking like he will be returning to the 49ers. It was supposed to be going on a trade proposed by the Jets at the draft, pick 10 for Deebo and a 2nd round pick. The 49ers didn't want to give up a 2nd round pick as well. Jets didn't want to just trade pick 10, so they couldn't come to an agreement, and that was the most likely Deebo landing spot. So now Deebo is following the 49ers back on social media, so it looks like he will be returning. We don't know what's going to end up happening with the contract, but it looks like he will be returning to 49ers to play this season, because it's very hard to get the compensation that the 49ers are looking for, and then you have to pay Deebo as soon as you trade for him. So it looks like it's going to be Deebo back on the 49ers. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you know when I post in the future if you enjoyed this video. So thank you guys again for watching. I'm McGarren Hart. This is Heart Zone, and I'm out.